This is one of Petrucci's most legendary shred solo. Why? We're going to find out today. Welcome to Why Is This Solo Great? Episode 1 with John Petrucci and Fatal Tragedy. Here we go. Hey guitar champion, what's going on? I'm 𝙎𝙤𝙢𝙚, back from my practice dojo, and welcome to today's video. You guys all responded really greatly on my question if I should do more kind of Why Is This Solo Great episodes here on YouTube, just to find out why a certain solo is a good solo, and that's so that we can learn from it and that we can create good solos as well. And today I want to share with you my point of view on Fatal Tragedy by Dream Theater. This solo is a big milestone for me in Petrucci's career because I think this solo is like the breaking point of old school Petrucci from the 90s, you know, with the Ibanez, you know, with this Ibanez here, even though that this is a fake one, and the more kind of improvised, jammed fusion solos here and there, to the Ernie Ball Petrucci, which is more calculated, which is more composed and not so much improvised, which is totally fine. There's no kind of opinion about that, but I think you can hear that change starting in Scenes from a Memory from 2000s. And because of that, and because of the nature of that, it's a composed and more calculated solo, I think we can learn a lot about Petrucci's style and the way how Petrucci is writing his fast-paced, action-like shred solos. If you want to have the tabs for this solo, then check out the description box. There you can download it for free, and check out the ZEN of Shred Patreon Academy, where I uploaded a video explaining that solo note by note with some tips here and there on how to improve your playing with that solo. More infos with the link in the description box. Now here we go, let's check out this solo. So first we are starting off with a shred line that is a mixture out of a picking and a legato line, which gives it the snappy percussive attack of the picking, but also the fluentness of the pull-offs that we have here in this line. Slowly, this line looks like this. In this line is an extremely intense, extremely fast line, 16 note triplets on 140 BPM, and that's one of the cool things of this solo. Here we are starting with an explosion. You know, I was talking with my good buddy Martin Miller in my German-speaking podcast called Let's Talk Guitar about songwriting, and there he was talking about the duality that songwriting, and you can transfer it to solo writing as well, duality is everything. And in a lot of cases in good solos, we are talking about the duality of tension and release. And it is really important to have a dynamic kind of flow in your solo. But you can start, of course, with an explosion. In my university times, we, of course, analyzed a lot of jazz solos, and we called this kind of start the James Bond start, because James Bond movies are always starting with a bang. In every James Bond movie, in the beginning, something is happening, an explosion, somebody get killed, like an action scene. And we have kind of the same thing on guitar solos here with this solo. He don't need any introduction. He right on starts with one of the hardest licks of that solo. And the difficulty of this solo is the string skipping and the position changes. Going with your pinky here from the 7th fret of the A string to the G string 4th fret, and then going to the 9th fret, and later on going from 9th fret position to 15th fret position. Those position shifts, trying to make those clean are not easy. To have the right hand precise on time as well is not easy, and it's a really good endurance exercise for your left hand as well. So I highly recommend to check out only that lick, because we can take a lot of really good technical exercises just playing and practicing this one lick. In this lick and in this part we are on the key of E minor, but we're switching between two keys in the whole solo, E minor and F sharp Phrygian dominant, which is the 5th mode of B harmonic minor. And these two keys together, they create a really cool distinguished kind of sound. I really love that sound, having a minor chord, then going one semitone higher to a major chord. In this case, E minor going to F sharp major, F sharp Phrygian dominant. This reminds me of a solo section from the song Race with Destiny by Vinnie Moore. And now, who has played keyboard again on that record? Wasn't it none other than my good buddy Jordan Rudess, who later on played on Dream Theater on the Scenes from a Memory record? Now, but that's not the only thing that is pretty cool about the whole construct of that solo. But I'm going to talk about this in the end. But first, let's check out some more licks, some more cool licks that we have in that solo, shall we? Following by a pretty cool rhythmical kind of line, these ones here, which is really typical for Petrucci, where we are going down, descending the string and descending the scale. In this case, we are still in the F sharp Phrygian dominant scale, and rhythmically we have 3 notes on one note, and then we have a pattern that leads to an open string. And getting this pattern right, timing wise, that's not easy at all. It requires a lot of control for your right and your left hand. Now we are back in E minor, leading to more Petrucci kind of really typical kind of blues line. And here we are now bringing a really cool vibe and a really cool kind of sound to this E minor, more heavy riffing, you know, like. And underneath that, the E minor 7 arpeggio, yeah, it just brings a really interesting sound to it. You know, and Petrucci was never afraid to take that minor 7 kind of sound, this more jazz fusion sound, and put into the habitat of metal, where something is really heavy and really aggressive, and he smoothes out certain things and certain vibes with a sound like the minor 7 sound. So don't be afraid of using minor, major 7, dominant 7 chords in your solos as well. It can give the solo and the vibe a really cool touch and a really cool refreshing kind of vibe. And going back to our, you know, dynamic chart of tension and belief, where we're starting with an explosion, here we can see we are going down from the tension, but it's like a roller coaster. We're going a little bit down, you know, we're starting with that explosion, we're going down with that kind of blues line, and we're going up again with a rhythmical 16-note triplet line with the open B string in it, where we're going descending the string. Then we're going down a little bit again with the blues line, and now that vibe of, you know, and that cool chill vibe of the E minor 7 arpeggio. We are going down from the tension, and now we are creating tension again with the next lick. Something like that. Now he's working here a little bit with a chromatical approach. For example, we're starting here on the F sharp, or a root note, and we are playing around with the chromatical notes surrounding this root note. The flat 9, which is also in the scale, but also the major 7. And this kind of sound brings attention alone, but together with the fast pacing, with the fast playing, we create another layer of tension to it. And now we're taking away again a little bit of tension by going to the E minor scale again. You know, a scale that has, by its nature, less tension than the F sharp Phrygian dominant scale. And now, let me clean that up again really quickly. Here we go. We have a really cool rhythmical kind of motif. Here in this kind of motif, we're thinking in patterns of 3, 3, 3, 3, so 2 times 6, and then 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And when we're seeing this lick like that, I mean, it first makes sense where we are doing the position shift, that we're doing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. But also it's a little bit easier to understand because the first time when I took a look at this kind of, these kind of tabs, I thought like, okay, I have to play 360 notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 460 note I have to go to the 9s. But yes, that's correct, but it's easier to see it like these groupings, and then this grouping, and then this grouping of 4. That's a little bit easier. The same for the next bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. And now again we are going up with the roller coaster ride. Now we are creating again tension, again in the F sharp Phrygian dominant scale, and now with a really fast speed picking kind of Petrucci or even Paul Gilbert-esque kind of vibe and lick that ends in this really cool sweep arpeggio that we have here. So slow, we have this line here. Ending with this pretty neat and cool sweep. And now the last lick in E minor, first an octave scale run. Where we're just playing the first 6 note of the E minor scale and then everything an octave higher. And then we're going to the blues line, the last kind of bluesy-esque line from the F sharp dominant Phrygian dominant scale, but we're not too much outlining here F sharp Phrygian dominant. It's more like typical F sharp minor kind of scale, again to release a little bit of tension because we had a lot of tension before that, which leads to the ending of that solo. And here the next 2 bars are pretty interesting by itself because the next 2 bars are connecting the guitar solo and the keyboard solo from Jordan Rudess. And now let's talk a little bit about the construction of that solo, because that's really interesting. It's diametrical. So we're starting off with 4 bars of E minor, 4 bars of F sharp Phrygian dominant. And then we're taking away 1 bar, 1 step at a time. After that, the next time we have 3 bars of E minor, 3 bars of F sharp Phrygian dominant, 2 bars of E minor, 2 bars of F sharp Phrygian dominant, 1 bar of E minor, 1 bar of F sharp Phrygian dominant. And then we have the transition with the B dominant chord between the connection between the keyboard solo and the guitar solo. And then in the keyboard solo, we're starting all over again, but the other way around. So we're starting off with 1 bar E minor, 1 bar F sharp Phrygian dominant, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars. Listen to that solo and really try to count, and you will see like, oh, okay, here's a change. Oh, here we only have the 3 bars. Here we only have the 2 bars. That's super cool. So it starts really long, really big. It gets less, and then it grows again in the keyboard solo. Super interesting, super cool concept that Dream Theater has put out there. And that's really just pure mind-blowing. And I would go with you together through this kind of concept and through this kind of idea. So here we start. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, first bar. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. F sharp Phrygian dominant. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Back to E minor, but only 3 bars. Second bar. Third bar. F sharp Phrygian dominant. 3 bars. It's strangely noted with the 6/4. That's not correct. E minor, 2 bars. Second bar. F sharp Phrygian dominant, 2 bars. Second bar. Only 1 bar E minor. Only 1 bar F sharp Phrygian dominant, and B dominant 7 as the connection between the keyboard and the guitar solo. And now the other way around. 1 bar of E. 1 bar of F sharp. 2 bars of E. 2 bars of F sharp Phrygian dominant. So you can see that's super interesting how they built up that solo and how they crafted these riffs underneath the solo. So really great songwriting construction of Dream Theater, and then putting on top of it a really cool shred solo. So what can we take out of this kind of solo? First of all, play around with the riffs that you have underneath the solo. I think it's super boring when metal bands are, playing a solo on, a chorus or verse. Hey, be creative with the riffs that you can have underneath that solo. It only can support the solo. And second, be aware of tension and release. Be aware of your pacing and your dynamic, you know? See it like in a movie. And here in this case, we always have an action scene, more relaxed scene, action scene, more relaxed scene, action scene, more relaxed scene, etc., etc., etc. So we're going up and down and up and down and up and down. And try to see the next time when you are constructing a solo in a similar way. All right, so much for today's video. I hope you liked this video. If you liked the video, then feel free to click the subscribe button and of course leave a comment what kind of solo you would love to hear, to see analyzed from me in this kind of series on my channel. I wish you a lot of fun learning, practicing and mastering this solo. Cheers and pour your progress. Bye.